Doctor Who's new problems look very much like its old problems, as Season 14's release plan hints at repeating the mistakes that hurt Chris Chibnall's era. Following the less enthusiastic response to Seasons 11, 12, and Flux, Russell T Davies was brought back to replace Chibnall as Doctor Who's showrunner, the hope being that he would weave the same magic that made 2005's modern relaunch such a monumental success. After the trio of 60th anniversary episodes and a Christmas special, Doctor Who Season 14 will kick off that new era proper. There is already plenty to be excited about, with Ncuti Gatwa's 15th Doctor bringing a warehouse full of charisma to the TARDIS, and the 4 RTD2 era episodes aired thus far largely enjoying positive reactions. On the other hand, Doctor Who is already showing red flags that indicate lessons have not been learned from the mistakes of Chibnall's reign. Season 14's release plan is one such red flag, with Doctor Who's upcoming run confirmed for a simultaneous worldwide release on Disney Plus and BBC iPlayer before later airing on BBC One. Why Doctor Who Season 14's release plan is continuing an old problem. UK viewers will be awake until the early hours. Millie Gibson and Ncuti Gatwa as Ruby Sunday and the 15th Doctor hugging in Doctor Who. The release schedule for Doctor Who Season 14 is, understandably, causing controversy among the show's British audience. The simultaneous release means upcoming Doctor Who episodes will land at a perfectly reasonable 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday in the US, but a considerably less sociable midnight on Saturday in the UK. Brit viewers will, therefore, have to choose between staying up late to watch Doctor Who with the rest of the world, catching up on Saturday morning, or watching the live BBC One broadcast on Saturday evening. On one hand, this is great news for Doctor Who's international fans, who previously drew the short sonic screwdriver when it came to release times. On the other, it continues the mistake of underestimating the importance of tradition among Doctor Who's following. When Doctor Who first began with An Unearthly Child in 1963, it aired on Saturday evening on BBC One, a slot the show then dominated for decades. For its domestic viewership, Doctor Who and Saturday evenings go together like fish and chips, so when Chris Chibnall's era heralded a shift to Sundays, the move was a big slap in the face to years of tradition. The Chibnall era then doubled down with some festive fiddling, moving Doctor Who Christmas specials, a more modern franchise tradition, to New Year. It should be noted that while these changes coincided with Chris Chibnall taking the helm, Chibnall himself was not behind the scenes plotting the destruction of Doctor Who history, not the Saturday night and Christmas special parts, at least. The BBC was ultimately responsible for scheduling Doctor Who. While Doctor Who Season 14 is now returning to its familiar Saturday night slot, the fairly massive caveat of premiering via streaming at midnight GMT once again ignores the cultural value of Doctor Who as an institution of British TV. Saturday or Sunday, Doctor Who is no longer event TV, although Disney, not the BBC, is most likely driving the change on this occasion. Different Doctor, different showrunner, different corporation, same mistake. RTD already repeated a Chibnall mistake in Doctor Who's 60th anniversary. Bi-generation is another timeless child-esque retcon. Breaking away from Doctor Who's usual TV slot is not the only problem from Chris Chibnall's era that Season 14 is carrying over. By far the most contentious story element from Chibnall's Doctor Who was the timeless child, a sweeping lore change that rewrote the Doctor's timeline, created numerous plot holes, divided the fandom, and was never properly explained. RTD's comeback was an opportunity for Doctor Who to move away from the murkiness surrounding the timeless child, but Ncuti Gatwa's debut instead introduced Bi-generation, a sweeping lore change that rewrote the Doctor's timeline, created numerous plot holes, divided the fandom, and was never properly explained.